Try this matchup. Low prices and faster checkout. You can count on it at Fry's.
Welcome to the Arizona Wildcats Video Notebook, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I am Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley, joined by beat reporter Daniel Berk. Daniel, in our last episode, we talked about Arizona's offense coming out of spring drills. Now let's talk about the D. This is an inexperienced group. This is a group that has not had a whole lot of success the last 2 years. But this is a unit, I think, Daniel, that is going to be the key to whatever success Arizona is going to have this fall. From what you've seen, attending practices, watching scrimmages, and then in the spring game, where do they stand and how can they improve?
Well, I think it's pretty clear to say that this is a unit that has improved in Jeff Castillo's first 3 years here. His first year, that defense was not good. I mean,
it was the worst. It was the worst statistically in Arizona football history, and this is not a school that's had a great tradition of defense over the years. I mean, they were bad even by Arizona's own kind of bad standards. And
they really struggled against the pass. They got better last year, and I think they'll be even a little better going forward. They're not an experienced group except for one spot, which is the secondary. They have three senior safeties that have all been starting for a couple of years. We talk about Jordan Grandin, Tremaine Bondurant, and then Jared Tevis. And then you throw a guy like Will Parks in there. That gives them four safeties with a lot of experience, and then Jonathan McKnight at one of the corner spots. So there is some experience there, and I think that's where they're going to rely on for a lot of their main leadership. But there are certainly a couple of spots on this defense where you look and it worries you if you're really trying to figure out what's going to happen with this defense. And a couple of those spots are the cornerback spot opposite Jonathan McKnight, which at a time it looked like, okay, Jalen Tabor could play there, okay, Nigel Hale could play there, okay, Derek Babish could play there, and now, Tabor and Hale never make it to Tucson, and Derek Babish, quit the team this week after spring. So that's a spot, whether it's Patrick Glover, Devin Holiday, or one of these incoming freshmen, someone's going to have to man that spot. And then the other spot where I think there's a serious concern is nose tackle, where you lost Tevin Hood. And I don't think they know what they're going to do right now. They're hoping to get those two defensive linemen back from their missions this summer, and that would certainly help. But those are the two spots I think you look at, corner and defensive tackle, that nose spot, where you wonder, where are they going to find that talent?
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about those two return missionaries real quick, Daniel. Fish Fanene and Saniela Fuimano, two guys who were here under the Mike Stoops regime, left to go on their Mormon missions, and now they say they're coming back. They were productive guys at a time really when Arizona needed them as true freshmen. Since then, you don't know what they look like. You don't know if they put on any weight. You don't know if they've even thought about football for the last couple of years. But you'd still have to think that they'd both be in the mix just because of how thin Arizona is on the defensive line.
Absolutely. And, they've been in kind of limited contact with the coaching staff, just an email once a month. And so they know that, they are still staying in shape and that type of thing. And I think the coaches think, hey, if we can get 25 snaps from each of these guys, that gets us to 50, and that puts us in a pretty good spot. So I think that's what they're hoping, is through 3 weeks of fall, and if they get here a little early in the summer and start lifting with the strength program, that they can get those two guys to play a serious amount. And then you combine them with whether it's Jeff Worthy, Parker Zellers, some other guys, and that gets you to 75, 80 snaps. But those two guys are big pieces to what they want to do on that line.
Absolutely. This is the Arizona Wildcats Video Notebook, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley, joined by Daniel Berk. Daniel, we talk about expectations on both sides of the ball every year. Arizona has been so sort of bad defensively the last 2 years, and then so successful offensively the last couple of years. What is sort of a reasonable defensive goal for this team? I mean, they don't need to shut anybody out as fast as Rich Rodriguez's teams play, but they can't be giving up 50 points a game either. I mean, what for you is sort of success in the framework of the way Arizona plays on both sides of the ball?
Top half of the league. If your total defense can be in the top half of the league, if you're in the top six, I think that would be really good for these guys, because I think whoever ends up being the quarterback on offense, I know, Arizona's going to find a way to score points. I mean, that's just what Rich Rodriguez does. That's going to happen. So if they can get a defense to be in the top six of the league, I think that would really be enough, and I think they have the talent and the experience to do that. I think what happens to the linebacker spot is going to be really interesting. If these two linebackers, DeMar Cobb and Marquise Ware, coming in from Salesian High School in California, if these two guys are ready to play right away, like Rich Rod has said, I think that is going to help their linebacking core a ton. And then you combine those two guys with Scooby Wright, DeAndre Miller, who had a fantastic spring, Jake Matthews, who was really strong. I think they have some talent there. So if you factor in that this is the third year, everyone is comfortable with the scheme by this point. Everyone is comfortable with the lingo at this point, and there's more just talent, and they're bigger. This should be a defense, I think, that can be in the top half of the pack.
Daniel Berk, you have said it all. Thank you so much for checking in. This is the Arizona Wildcats video notebook brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. For Daniel Berk, I'm Ryan Finley. Daniel, when we get together next, what are we going to talk about? There's no spring football. I mean, we got to go college baseball, don't we?
We'll talk some college baseball. They got a big series next weekend against Arizona State, and if they play well this weekend at USC, they're going to get back into it. We'll find things. We can talk about San Diego Padre lefty relievers. We'll find things. Don't worry.
Sounds great. Daniel, thank you again for checking in, and we'll see you guys next time.